My name is Chase McCormick, and I am terrible with money. Well, that's not true. I am really good at spending it. I'm a starving artist who no longer wanted to starve. I make paintings that nobody wants to look at, music that nobody wants to listen to, clothes that nobody wants to wear, and movies that nobody wants to produce. While I initially started working in finance to fund my creative endeavors, I quickly fell in love with my new role and company. I was selected to be the new social media and events coordinator at the most fun firm in finance. While I don't know much about finance, I've certainly developed an interest to start investing in my future. That's why I thought it would be exciting for me to sit down with financial experts at our company, because if they can teach it to me, they can teach it to you. Please remember that nothing we say here should be taken as personal advice. This conversation is for entertainment purposes only. If you have questions about your financial situation, please talk to a licensed financial advisor.
Your financial information, you want it to be private. You don't need everyone knowing about your assets. And again, so people who pass away without a trust, without a will, without an estate plan, people can then go after those assets. You know, Aretha Franklin, Michael Jackson, Prince.
Aretha Franklin? You left that one out? My queen?
I'm just saying. Motown, you know?
Yeah.
Sounds like Motown.
Now I'm listening.
Trouble on my mind. That's the attitude that got my ass off the sideline.
I thought we were double digits. I was kind of excited to get the first double digit episode.
Let's count them.
But
all right, let's go.
Solo.
Chase and Alex, Jimmy, Z, and we just dropped a Z, by the way. Episode 3, go check it out. Mia, Steve, Brett. Brett, Sean, Sage, Nico.
This is 9. Wow. My favorite number.
Do you want to leave or are you cool? I know I told you double digits.
I mean, I'm booked for at least the next 15 minutes, so let's make it work.
All right. Episode 9. Here we are. My friend Nico. Let me think about a better one.
So, Chase, what's going on? What are we talking about today?
Well, welcome back. What are we talking about today? Do you want to? I say we do a little talk, and then we intro you back on Anduze, and then we kind of get back into it too. Basically, I want to learn how to be an adult. I mean, the first kind of point of this podcast initially was to teach me how to be an adult. Everyone says the first thing you got to do is manage your finances. Well, here I am, almost saved up my first $1,000. So today I want to go into what's beyond the money. How can I become a respectable gentleman such as yourself?
You can't teach respect.
That's true.
You either have it or you don't.
Oof.
And I think you have it. I know you.
Think so?
Well, I've met your family. I met your mom, your sister, your brother, your dad.
Do you kind of feel like my family is kind of like almost like my accountability of like what actually lets people know I'm a pretty normal human being? Or
what's normal?
If I was from the streets,
which you're not,
would I be respectable?
I don't think you're from any streets that don't have beautiful sidewalks that you walk on. So
Sesame Street, maybe.
I don't know. I think you're doing a great job getting started. You know, it's a long journey.
Yeah.
I'm a millennial. It's taken a long time to get to where I'm at, and there's joy in the journey. And for you, it's all about figuring out what makes the most sense for you today, and then how do you make sure that you're planning for tomorrow, and then chase at 33, at 43, at hope you make it to 53. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. People, there's an over under. But that's kind of the fun thing I wanted to talk to you about today, too. Per Danilo, is a will and a trust. If I don't make it to 53, because my sister Trinity got pretty excited. I guess she didn't actually watch the podcast, but my mom told her that in past episodes, it was named that she's my beneficiary. So now she's all excited. Well, I got a 401k now. I'm like, you sure do, little pumpkin spice latte.
She's a pumpkin spice latte girl?
She's more like a strawberry vanilla type, but I like to call her my little pumpkin.
Fair enough. Did you carve pumpkins for Halloween?
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's disappointing.
It is disappointing. And I even went to a pumpkin patch, but I didn't even buy a pumpkin.
Right. Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Sean.
You know, wills and trusts, these are definitely part of our financial planning wheelhouse. You know, the key thing is that you want to understand, why do you have a will? Why do you have a trust? And what happens if you don't have a will or a trust or an estate plan and you pass away?
I didn't freaking put $600 a month away to not have it go to somebody. And now that I'm saving up this money, now that I've almost got my first 1,000 liquid, now that I've got almost 5, 6, 7 grand in my retirement savings. I'm not going to just let that go poof to the government.
Poof, there it goes.
Poof, there it goes. Welcome back to Finding Finance. I'm here with my great friend, father, neighbor, most beautiful blue eyes in the office, and most importantly, seasoned millennial, Nico Anduze. Welcome to the show. It is great to have you.
Chase, I'm excited. I'm happy to be here for episode 9.
Yeah, episode 9.
I'm happy. I can hopefully take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Get you to the double-digit episode one day. Hopefully this isn't the last episode.
People didn't say we'd make it to double digits, but here we are, one episode away. And more than that, it's kind of like a birthday episode almost.
Is it?
Yeah. Tomorrow. Tomorrow's your big B-day.
Well, I think I was born around just after midnight.
Oh, okay.
Just after midnight. So, about 8 or 9 more hours. We'll see what happens.
Anything can happen.
This probably comes out in like January, maybe February next year.
That's exciting.
Freaking accounting department over there has always got to bring us down. I don't know.
Well, 2025 is going to be a great year.
All right.
And, I know you wanted to talk about estate planning, trusts, wills. These are things in my wheelhouse as a financial planner. It's important to have your goals actually listed out. Where do you want your money to go, your resources? And importantly, you want to have that stuff under your control. You don't want someone else to be deciding who gets your collection of sneakers or sweaters or other
bleach
things.
T-shirts. Yeah, I mean, the government, they're just going to send it off to Goodwill.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, after all the bleaches I've done, I got to make sure John's in my will for all the bleach clothes, and Arlen too, honestly. VP, COO, I mean, they're entitled to that kind of product, and vice versa.
Do I know Arlen? Have I met Arlen?
You met Arlen, yeah, my roommate.
Love Arlen.
Love Arlen.
Great guy. Great eyes as well.
Yeah.
Very pretty eyes.
And as a guy with brown eyes, I'm nothing but jealous of you two beautiful blues. Mm-hmm. But what are you going to do?
Well, you tell me. You tell me how you want to...
New cut, by the way. I know people are excited. New shirt. Well, it's not new, but I can finally fit into it. Exciting.
You look great.
People want us to talk about, financial planning. Oh, a will. Oh, a trust. I'd rather talk about the fashion. I mean, you've blessed me with shoes. You gave me the shirt. I mean, look at you, that powder blue suit with, is that called an ascot? What is that nice thing, pocket thing?
Pocket square.
Pocket square.
Handkerchief.
I mean, what is it going to take for me to be able to pull that kind of thing off?
Some experience, some effort, a little gumption, some guile. You got a couple of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm getting there.
I think you're there, man. You're getting, how old are you?
23.
23 is a beautiful age, and you're on the journey, right? To finding finance, to figuring out how to be a responsible adult.
Yeah.
It takes time,
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is we're actually thinking about changing the name of the podcast. Alex, do you want to tell them what we're thinking about?
Chase texted me at like 11 o'clock.
Last night, me and Steve are getting drunk with the kickball team. I'll be honest, we lost. Playoffs finally hit. We're pumped. I do blame our first baseman, Erin. She's the most badass player. Wasn't there, out camping. So we didn't have our MVP. Lost first round. I'm partying with the team. We're drinking our sorrows. One guy I'm telling Finding Finance, and he's like, dude, why do you not call it Chasing Finance?
Ooh.
Isn't that kind of good?
I'm like, damn.
It's nice. Damn. I like Chasing Finance.
The alliteration isn't there, but I like anything with my name on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chasing Finance.
It kind of helps explain, Chase is one of the most unique people I think I've ever met. And
thanks.
This podcast is him trying to figure out his financial journey, but it's also him doing finance in the most Chase way possible.
I'm chasing it.
He's chasing it, but he's also chasing it.
That's a good point, Alex.
He's chasing it, but he's chasing it.
Right.
So you are you're the verb.
Finance. Yeah, my mom always said I knew you were going to be a little ADHD boy because I gave you a verb as a name, Xavier, my brother, Saint. Trinity, my sister, Godly. Chase, Bank.
Yeah.
So
that's
tell me.
That's exciting stuff.
Alex, I was gonna ask you, by the way, how's that chicken bake feeling? You feeling good off that? I'm pretty jacked, honestly.
Yeah, it was good, but since the last time I had one, it was not as good.
And we got to talk about this because that's really why I asked the question is what's going on at Costco? All of a sudden, these Costco guys are hyping it up. They can't even fill demand for chicken bakes anymore. Last Saturday, I was there, no chicken bakes left. Today, no chocolate cookies left. And even the chicken bake girth is like shrunk. It's like shriveled.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I think you're chasing, book boy. You're chasing.
I'm chasing something.
You're chasing something, all right.
All right, well,
Don't go chasing finance.
Let's get into the finance portion. I think a good way to start this.
Bitcoin?
No, I want you
Bitcoin's booming.
Can you fill in, Nico, on your journey so far? I know we already went over each episode we did. This was episode 9. But like, where did you start? Where are you now? And how can he help you?
Okay. We've calculated my net worth, $56. So
Better than 55.
that's where you're my boy.
Go ahead.
We did that. And then now, like, we get paid tonight. And I don't want to get too excited, but I've done some loose math, some loose, arithmetic as they call it. And it sounds like by tomorrow I'll have paid off my bills and still have $1,000 liquid in my bank account.
That's very exciting, Chase. Very happy for you. So the
Thank
plan
you.
for you is to not spend it all, right?
Not spend it all.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you know why you want to not spend it all?
Why?
So you can spend more of it later.
I like that. No one ever
Yeah.
said it like that before. Okay, go
Makes
on.
sense. Doesn't it make sense though?
Yeah.
So you can buy a whole bunch of chocolate chip cookies from Costco, like you were doing, right?
Double chunk.
Or you can not buy those cookies, and maybe in a couple months, a couple years, you can get something better than those chocolate chunk cookies from Costco.
Oh,
See what
like
I'm saying?
I could buy a bakery.
Or you can buy something better than cookies. What's better than cookies?
What's
Chase?
better than I was gonna ask you. What's freaking better than cookies?
Well,
Brownies?
there's different types of cookies, Chase. So,
Cinnamon rolls? Or I could buy my grandma's recipe book and then make my own cookies and then sell them.
Now, do you know what the recipe is for the best cookies of all time?
Yeah, vanilla chips, butterscotch chips, chocolate chips, and wait for it. Don't tell her I told you, coconut. Shout out to you, Grammy. I love you.
Hey, Grammy. I've met your father, mother, sister, brother, and you're definitely a unicorn of the McCormick family.
And thank you for saying that because they call me the black sheep, but I like unicorn.
You look good in black, though. I have to say that's a good looking shirt on you.
You like it?
Yeah.
New haircut. I had to pull it out. Mm-hmm. Should have seen you with the shades on earlier too.
This is a note for myself to pull up the photo of him with his family where he looks like the unicorn.
You already did that on Sean's episode.
I'm gonna do it again. It's
I don't need it, bro.
crazy photo.
I got funnier pictures than that one.
Has Nico seen that photo?
Yeah, I think so. Nico follows my Instagram.
Do I?
I hope so.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm sure I do.
I follow you.
I'm a elder millennial. No, I shouldn't say that. I'm a seasoned millennial. And so I don't spend a lot of time on social media. I'm more of a in real life kind of guy. Spend
IRL.
quality time with family. I have a daughter who's 9.
God bless her.
So we spent lots of good time, and I don't really find the value in social media as much as some of the younger folks like you do, and that's okay.
Well, I'm actually very chemically addicted to it, so it's actually really unhealthy how much time I'm spending on it, and I don't really like it.
Have you spent time putting together where you want your $1,000 in retirement assets to go to one day? Do you know what you're going to do with it?
I think I did something with Mia where I said my sister gets it all.
What's that called?
A trust.
You have a trust?
A will?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I have it though.
No, he doesn't have.
Do you know what happens if you die without a trust or without a will?
The government gets it.
Well,
The court decides where it goes.
probate court decides
Who
where
said?
it goes.
Wait.
Yeah. So probate is basically
Probate.
a process by which your assets get either determined by a judge, or if you have beneficiaries listed in a trust and a will, then they can basically go to where they're supposed to go to. What's unique about a trust is that it supersedes probate.
And
right?
supersedes for the people back home means
trumps probate.
Trumps. Okay.
So what happens if you die without an estate plan, without a trust, without a will?
Goes to probate court.
Yep. And also, guess what?
What?
It's public.
Oh.
Public. So have you
Dang.
ever heard, can you name a celebrity that died without an estate plan? I can think of a few that you should know. I bet you know who
Okay.
they are, but you probably don't know why.
Okay. Wait. Give me a hint.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis Colts. Colt McCoy.
Incorrect. Who's the greatest artist to ever come out of Minnesota?
Look,
It's easy.
Prince?
peasy.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm not trying to die and have the whole world know about my financial situation.
Or lack thereof. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, think about it. So Prince died without an estate plan.
Dang.
Michael Jackson died without an estate
I
plan.
want to be your lover. Is that what, Prince? Part-time lover? I want to be your lover.
Prince is one of the most unique artists of all time. Played any instrument,
Really?
played music in the dark.
That's kind of...
Prince was a pretty wild cat. So point is, if you pass away without a trust, without a will, your estate is effectively public. People can challenge, say, hey, you know what, Chase told me a long time ago he was going to leave me his collection of bleached T-shirts and size 13
Unless your name's
sneakers.
John or Arlen, shut the up.
So you want to lock that down.
Okay.
You know, I have a trust. I put together a trust not too long after my daughter was born, just to make sure if something terrible happened to me, I passed away unexpectedly, I know where the assets are going to go and why.
And you're...
Is an amazing child.
I love seeing you and... I don't know if you want to bleep her name out, but... I love seeing you and your daughter because we are neighbors. And so, like, it's always fun. Like, if I'm on a run or something and I just, like, bump into you guys and I get see you, it's like you got your Crocs on, maybe, like, a volleyball, maybe, like, some frozen yogurt or something. It's very sweet to see just, like, you, the way you take care of her. Because I know you in this kind of professional, badass kind of, you know, situation. But it's like I see you with your daughter and I'm like, you know, he's got a heart, too. He's like kind of a sweetie pie father figure.
Thanks, Chase.
It's kind of sweet.
Yeah, kind of.
And you're kind of like a father figure to me at times. I mean, I like to think of it more as older brother personally.
Me too.
But sometimes, you know, you got to step in a little bit more Mike and a little less Xavier, you know.
That has happened a few times. That's a good thing, you know. It's all about learning through triumph and tribulation, right?
Yeah.
And you can't have a straight path towards success without stumbling a few times and skinning your knee and getting some scars here and there.
Yeah. You know, it was a fun memory.
Tell me.
Was when we had our pregame for the Christmas party together.
Go on.
I don't know, it was just like, you know, I was like, you know, when you're like going to go to the party alone, you're like a little sad. And I was just like, you know, I wonder if Nico would want to be my friend. And then I texted you and you came over and we drank some Belvedere and then went and just, you know, had a time with the company. It was just a great time.
We contribute what we can.
Yeah. It was a fun memory I always think about.
So back to trusts and wills.
Okay.
They're important because you want to be able to articulate where your assets are going to go, right, after you pass away. So that's what a will is. Fundamentally, it's a legal document stating that you want your assets to go this place to that person after you pass away.
And do I need a lawyer?
You do not. You do not.
Really? Because I don't have one.
Yeah. You don't actually need an attorney. Now, there's a lot of different services out there. You can get it pretty affordably done, or done rather affordably, I should say.
Alex, is Scott technically my lawyer?
No, definitely not. And he doesn't do wills and trusts. But I have a guy that does do them if you are looking for someone.
Alex has a guy? You got a guy?
One of my best friends is taking over his parents' law firm. And
Perfect.
They do trust and
Do I
stuff.
know him?
Thomas.
Gabriel?
Tommy Bartholotti. Play golf with him a lot.
Tommy? I think I've heard of him.
You've heard of him, yeah.
Here's the thing. Trust and will took me to my first Kings game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like if I'm going to do it, I kind of have some allegiance to them. Box seats. Me and Mia got on the ice. But other people are telling me that there's someone better out there to go through. What do you think?
I think it depends on your situation, your financial means. You know, you don't want to spend too much money if you don't have it. You know, the big philosophy in our industry is don't spend more than you make, right? Don't spend too much money. But the key thing, I think, for you, you're a young guy, just get out of the way. What I see a lot of times are people who are, let's say, in their 40s or 50s, no will, no trust, and they're avoiding it.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like if you know you got to exercise, sometimes you avoid it because you don't want to confront that because it's uncomfortable to think about your death.
Well,
right?
That's one of, I think, the hardest parts of your job is that nobody wants to really think about their finances. And so it's like talking to clients, getting new clients. Nobody wants to look over the situation. I know me and my podcast listeners have definitely seen, a little trouble, me wanting to, actually go through my checkings, go through my credit card bill at the end of the month. So I can only imagine that the only thing that people want to talk about less than their financial situation is their demise.
Their financial situation after death.
Yo,
right? When you think about it.
boom, yeah.
But that's what's kind of beautiful is that there are some steps to take to make it much more efficient, tax efficient, easy for your beneficiaries, right?
Tax efficient?
We like tax efficiency. It's a big, big thing in our industry.
401k tax efficient.
We like tax efficiency. Yeah.
And 529 also tax efficient.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But a trust, what's awesome about a trust, that's different from a will. Okay. A will is a legal document that describes where you want your assets to go after you pass away.
Okay.
A trust is actually something more dynamic. Okay. You can create a trust and it can be enforced upon creation of the trust. You're still alive, right?
Yeah.
And you are the trustee oftentimes of a trust. So you can determine, okay, how do I want this trust to organize my assets? How do I want the trust to incorporate the will? But also, you are going to continue to evolve as a human being into your 30s one day. Yeah. God willing, your 40s,
I might get a girlfriend if I try hard enough.
The key is to not try.
Well, that's my thing though, is like if I get a trust or a will and or a trust and or a will I get a girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me more.
Okay. So a trust is important because you want to have control. We love control.
I like control.
We love control.
We love control.
So a trust allows you to be able to plan and organize your assets in a different and more dynamic way. So again, a will is just a living, breathing document that says where your money goes, where your assets go, your hockey sticks, your house, your shoe collection, whatever it is, bleach shirts.
Okay, now I'm starting to get a kind of a vibe here.
A trust, though, is more dynamic, right?
Okay.
So a trust can own property.
Oh.
Yeah. A trust can own real estate, it can own an investment account, own a car.
Okay.
Okay. And so when you have assets inside of a trust, think of it like a chassis, right?
What's a chassis?
You're from Detroit, Michigan, sir?
Yeah.
You don't know what a chassis is?
Chassis. I am chassis.
Were you born in the 21st or 20th century?
I was born in 2000, so what's that, 21st?
You're a cusper.
I'm a cusper.
I think you're technically 20.
Born in the new
20th.
millennium.
I think you're 20th century.
20th century fox.
I think you're 20th.
I always thought every time I heard the word chassis, they were just talking about me.
Chassis is a frame of a vehicle. So vehicles are manufactured in Detroit.
Yeah.
People used to call it an important manufacturing hub of our country. I still think Michigan's a powerful place.
Yeah.
Go Michigan.
Okay.
Michiganders.
Let's not get political, but yeah, it is.
Hey, I just love your parents, and your brother and your sister.
Detroit.
I don't know about that.
Although
my favorite player growing up was Barry Sanders.
Yeah, badass. Also, the Pistons are looking really good right now.
Are they?
Yeah.
It's hard to not look worse.
Well, that's
than they
the
were
thing
last year. So
yeah, my uncle also supported the podcast. Tim McCormick, legend. Go get his book, Never Be Average. 10-year veteran, picked 12th overall in the Jordan draft. Announcer for the Pistons.
Is that right?
So he does the post game for the Pistons, and so for the last year or 4, his job has been the most boring job in the world. How many nights in a row can you say, "Okay, we are"?
Can you talk about something other than sports now?
Yeah. So here's what I was getting kind of a vibe. Can I have my pen back, by the way?
I have a question. Let me ask you a question, and then I'll bring it back to you. If you create a will, and you're saying, okay, this item that I own goes to this person, but whatnot. Say I create it now. I don't own a home or anything. Once I own a home, do I have to amend my will to add that home?
Ideally, you would.
What if
You don't have to.
What if I have a will and I don't add my house when I finally buy a house in 37 years?
And you pass away, and that house is not listed on your will, and it's not in a trust?
Yeah, I haven't amended it.
Then it goes to probate, and a probate judge will
Damn.
So every time you buy something new, you basically have to add it to your will. Does it cost a lot of money to add stuff to your will?
No, not necessarily. Amending it is not that complicated, but you don't amend your will or your trust if you go buy a new bracelet. It's more that you just want to have everything listed. The idea is it's an organizational tool for you, right? And to protect you and your beneficiaries. That's really what it's all about. So no, you don't need to amend everything. Now, when you buy a home, usually you want to title that in the name of a trust right off the bat, right? You want to protect your financial information. You want it to be private. You don't need everyone knowing about your assets. And again, so people who pass away without a trust, without a will, without an estate plan, people can then go after those assets. You know, Aretha Franklin, Michael Jackson, Prince.
Aretha Franklin? You left that one out? My queen?
I'm just saying. Motown, you know?
Yeah.
Sounds like Motown needs
I'm listening.
Really needs to chase some financial literacy.
Yeah,
because,
dude.
You know, some serious lapses of judgment there.
Damn.
So
Stevie was straight though.
I think Stevie Wonder's still alive.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I used to be neighbors with his nephew.
And you never told me?
I didn't know you at the time.
What, are you friends with Icewear Vezo's cousin and you never said anything about that either?
I still don't know it when you say that name.
Okay, we're moving on.
It sounds like a interesting dish from somewhere in South America.
Icewear Vezo, what would it be? It would be like frozen cabbage mixed with like some sort of strange fish.
I was thinking like ceviche on a tostada or something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was visualizing. I didn't know how to say it though.
But Detroit style.
Detroit style, so that would mean
it's deep fried,
lemon pepper. People don't give us credit for our lemon pepper, but we kind of started that wave too. Captain J's, if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. So what else do you want to know about trusts?
I feel like we should do something for your birthday. Planning? I don't know.
Yeah.
I should have got you a cake. I feel bad, honestly.
You know, this is a big birthday year for me.
What are you?
I'm going to be turning a very special number.
42?
Jackie Robinson, baby.
I know. Who was I just talking about Jackie Robinson? Oh, my barber today. We're talking about Jackie Robinson.
Shout out to UCLA Bruins, Pasadena
was
boy.
He a Bruin?
Jackie Robinson?
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson grew up in Pasadena, went to Pasadena City College, UCLA.
No way.
And then Brooklyn Dodgers.
Oh, right, because he was Brooklyn back then.
Before they moved to LA, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
Do the Right Thing.
Local boy.
You seen that movie?
Alex knows Pasadena.
Do the Right Thing?
Yeah, I grew up near Pasadena.
Spike Lee?
What about Spike Lee? Oh, wait.
You know that movie?
Doesn't matter.
His first movie.
Chase, will you tell Nico
Jackie Robinson.
every account that you have?
I don't want to do that right now. I'd rather talk about Bitcoin's up. Do you think Bitcoin's going to hit the $100,000 mark?
I have confidence that Bitcoin will hit $100,000.
And I'll tell I'll tell the viewers this. We had Brett on a few weeks ago. He told me I should, start allocating Bitcoin in. I didn't do it because I was too busy working on my emergency fund. Now Bitcoin's doubled? About to double since we had that podcast?
No way.
No, it hasn't doubled.
It was around 40, 50?
No,
it's probably around 70.
Yeah.
No, it was.
And maybe it will be again.
It was probably around 70. Now it's 90 something.
Oh, I don't give a Never mind. I'm chilling. Okay, so here's the vibe I'm getting. We've got kind of a debate going on, kind of a competition. Trust, and then you've got a will, and then you've got, what do they have in common?
Some other lines. Well, like I say, will is a legal document that says where you want your assets to go upon your death. That's it. It's very straightforward. It's not dynamic. Whereas a trust, a trust you can actively manage it in a different way.
Ooh.
A trust is far more dynamic, because a trust can own property. A will cannot own property. A trust can own assets. A will cannot own assets.
Will cannot own assets.
A will is just a document describing where stuff's going to go after you die. A trust can actually own assets. You can, you can be the owner of a trust. You can have co-trustees, successor trustees.
Okay.
So after you pass away, the trust stays intact. Okay.
Yeah.
And then successor trustees are then charged with managing the trust and executing your wishes if you're the original grantor, the creator of the trust. So then
it sounds like trust is better than will.
Well, they're different, right?
Do I need
it's not
both?
The same. When you have a trust, you're effectively going to have a will. So you have a will is the most basic piece of financial protection to have to ensure your assets go out. Now, also, you need to make sure that all of your investment accounts, your bank accounts, have beneficiaries designated.
That's what I have. Beneficiary?
Good. Always have a beneficiary listed on your retirement account, 401k.
Trinity McCormick.
Yeah. Every retirement account, your brokerage account, your bank account needs to have a beneficiary designated. That's number one, the most basic level of financial protection. Mm-hmm. Right? That's the most basic step to making sure that assets aren't just going to go to probate and have a judge determine, hey, I think that Chase's sister should get these assets, or maybe Chase's best friend, or maybe some guy who showed up with a note and said, oh, Chase said he was going to give me all of his assets. The judge has to take that into consideration.
John, don't do it.
Unless you have a trust, right?
And this is the whole point of why you need an extremely competent, charismatic financial advisor like yourself. Because anybody can get a will, but are you going to get a trust? And are you going to get a specific, highly detailed asset class trust that is going to make sure that all of your assets, for lack of a better word, retirement accounts, property, cars, bleach t-shirts, all of it is going to be going to the right person? Because you don't want to end up in probate court like a schmuck. You don't want your business out there. You don't want to. Who in their right mind wants everyone in the world to have access to all of their financial advisor? Couldn't be me. Wait, financial information. Couldn't be me. Is that right?
I lost you. I don't know.
All right. Well,
but here's what I'll say.
Okay.
So your retirement accounts generally are outside of a trust.
Outside of a trust.
Yeah, because retirement accounts, they're treated a little bit different from a tax perspective, right? So really you want your trust to oversee all of your non-retirement assets, which is real estate, bank information or bank accounts. So real estate, brokerage account, crypto is generally not in retirement accounts, right? So you want to have a trust basically oversee all of those different investments that are non-retirement. Okay. So when you pass away and you have a trust, whoever is the successor trustee, right, then has the ability to say, okay, now I have to execute the rest of what the trust says must be done from you. So you've passed away, right?
Yeah,
you're gone.
I'm out.
You're gone.
See ya.
But guess what?
What?
What you want to happen is still going to happen.
Oh, sick.
See what I'm saying? So you're actually controlling things beyond the grave.
So I'm up in heaven looking down like, yeah, I said it, now go do it.
Now go execute.
Yeah.
Right? So it's almost like you're a coach and you want to see, are the players going to execute the design of the play?
Yeah.
Will they?
We don't need that Chip Kelly. You're
No
talking
Chip
like
Kelly.
Chip Kelly's the will, Jim Harbaugh's the trust.
Chip Kelly is not someone I want to discuss.
Yeah.
Shout out to Deshaun Foster, the whole coaching staff at UCLA. My boy Alfie Reft. You're the man. Go Bruins.
Go Bruins. And a shout out to Bruins volleyball while we're at it.
So I'm going to take Annabelle to UCLA women's volleyball hosting Wisconsin this Saturday.
No way.
Big Ten showdown.
I was actually going to ask you, I have that in my notes somewhere. How are you feeling about being in the Big Ten?
So does Chase need to set up a trust? Like knowing his situation, or maybe, I don't know if you know his situation, like, does it make sense to even have one? And if
at this point in Chase's journey, it's not necessary, but I do think you should have a will.
You've seen my bleach t-shirt collection though, right?
Phenomenal.
So
yeah.
So how would you go about getting
non-retirement assets I might need to trust?
Well, look, the most important thing is that you have beneficiaries listed in all your accounts, right? That's crucial. And then you want to have a will. It's very simple, very easy. And that way you can also, have something that dictates where you want your assets to go. Don't forget, assets can also be heirlooms.
Yeah.
Let's say you have, I don't know. Do you have a family heirloom? I'm sure your family does.
Yeah, honestly, I don't. No one's given it. Well, actually, yes. My grandma's paintings. You've seen some of them.
At your house?
At my house.
Nice. So, like, for example, in a will, you would list out all of your assets, right?
Yeah.
And you say, okay, grandma's paintings. You don't want those just to go to random people. You want to make sure that goes to family or friends or whomever. So you can list it out in a will. So for you, having a will is a great next step after you already have your beneficiaries listed. At least then this will give you some guidance. Well, give the people that love you the most some guidance after you pass away.
And I'm really trying to get one of my uncle's jerseys. It's like I beg him all the time to have one. He's got game worn Knicks, Nets. I mean, he's got jerseys that he was wearing with Charles Barkley and Maurice Cheeks and Dr. J, and I'm dying for one. I'm pretty sure he's got a Rockets jersey. You know the old logo with the rocket on it?
Of course, yeah. Ralph Sampson.
Sick. Gosh,
Ralph Sampson.
Hakeem. He used to back up Hakeem. So, and I still haven't got a jersey, but other family heirlooms, I think my grandma's cookbooks would be really cool too. I've never got one, but I think that would be a family heirloom.
That's good enough. So you want to have a will to write out where you want those assets to go. And you know what? Life changes. One day you might actually get married. You might have your own family. You know, then you can always amend, especially if you own more assets as you continue to grow.
Oh yeah. So how does it change with marriage then?
Well, it depends on what state you live in. We're in a community property state here in California.
Community property.
But I don't want to get too much into that because it's not really my favorite topic.
And here's my other question is, do you feel like Steve kind of has acted different ever since he's been on the podcast, or?
Yes.
Yeah. I've kind of got that vibe. It's kind of like once people come on this podcast, it's kind of like they're, a little more cocky, a little more arrogant, a little more smug even. Not to me though, just to other people.
I will avoid those traps.
So all I want for you, because I don't need Elizabeth, because Elizabeth, it's Steve, Nico, and Elizabeth. And Elizabeth, sweetest soul. I don't need her getting harassed by you guys all cocky now that you've been on the podcast and she still hasn't been on,
Elizabeth is like one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Love her.
And
she doesn't deserve that. Yeah.
Nah.
I'm really hoping to
one
get
of our queens.
I'm really hoping to get an Elizabeth Miranda episode too.
Sounds amazing.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Look forward to it.
Compliance plus Salesforce.
What could be better?
I know. Also Wyman could be pretty cool. I feel like he's Wyman.
Yep. All right. So let's talk more about, I don't know, your
All right. I've got some more questions
journey.
here.
What kind of questions you have for me so I can help you navigate?
Now more like adulting questions. So here I just kind of want to figure out how do I get a wife, right? You've showed me a lot of the best restaurants to eat at in LA. You're kind of like my go-to guy. If I like a pretty girl and I want to take her out, if I have family in town, where do I go? What is one hidden gem spot you still haven't told me about?
Ooh, hidden gem?
Hidden gem.
I think I'll keep it hidden.
He'll bleep it out.
Hidden gem. Okay. I got one.
All right.
The Golden Bull.
Ooh, okay.
Which is also one of my nicknames.
In Westwood?
No, it's actually in Santa Monica. It's on, I want to say Entrada.
Entrada?
Yeah, it's really pretty. It's North Santa Monica. So if you go on a Friday night, it's wild. Around about 9 or 10 o'clock, they basically turn all the lights off and blast Fleetwood Mac.
Oh.
It's an old school chop house.
Okay.
Red leather seats and stuff like that.
Is that the one that's kind of low down under Bledsoe's?
No. So it's on, I want to say Entrada, just a little bit east of PCH. Do you know Patrick's Roadhouse on PCH as you're going north?
No.
Towards Palisades?
Oh, yeah.
So just past that and a little bit up. So it's in that neighborhood.
Golden Bull.
That's one of my favorite old school LA spots on the west side.
All right. Do you ever go to Shore Bar?
No.
No?
No, I have been a few times, but it's been a long time.
It's not really a vibe, or?
I'm a millennial, I have different tastes. Okay. So it's nice. I have no problem with it.
I feel like people went there a lot in college. I've never been, but
yeah, I've been years ago.
Yeah.
A long time ago. I like to get in bed fairly early,
It's true.
Yeah. On school nights, especially.
That's true, because I've partied with you on the weekends, and we'll get it going until 7, 8 a.m.
Gotta start early. So hidden gems, I would say one of my favorite hidden gems is the Golden Bull.
Golden Bull.
In Santa Monica, off PCH. Classic.
All 7 of our listeners are going to know about it now.
Shout out to the Golden Bull.
All right. And other great places you've showed me. I don't really want to gas the spots up, though. Yeah.
But
sometimes you'll show me a spot all right, everyone knows Cholita, right? You'll show me a spot at Cholita, best food ever, and then I take a girl there and I'm mixing the queso with the corn, with the big chip, with the guac, with the salsa, and it's she don't want to see that, I ain't getting a second date there. So, part of growing up, I find, is knowing what spot are you going to go to with the boys, eat good, and what spot are you going to take a nice classy lady, stay a little proper, maybe, wear a collared shirt. And that's another question I had is, what clothes do I need to wear if I want to find a wife?
Clothes that fit.
Clothes that fit. This is fitting better, right?
I think that looks great on you.
All right.
Shout out to whoever got it for you.
My man, right here.
What other financial
generous
topics can Nico help you with? What?
I did have one other question though. What music or movies should be playing? If I have a girl back to my place, she's like, oh, I want to turn on a movie. I want to turn on music. What do I kind of do? I usually stick with Motown. A little Marvin Gaye.
Right. Also died without an estate plan.
Damn.
Yeah. Sad stuff. So apparently there's a big issue in Motown, people passing away without estate plans, you know?
Damn.
Which is why it's important to have a trust in a
Better
will.
hope they don't get Eminem. He's got a lot of money.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, between you and me, cut the cameras for like, do I keep my socks on or off during?
So tell me more about your chasing finance journey.
I like it. It sounded good rolling off the tongue. Chasing finance.
Most things do.
Well, all right. I'll say this. It's like basically, look, like this weekend I had friends asking me to go out, like honestly the last couple of weeks. And it's like, I had to tell them straight up, if I hit episode 10 of this podcast and I still haven't saved up $1,000, I'm going to look like a idiot. And it's like, I have to stay in now because it's like, if I go out and spend my money, it's going to hit episode 10 and I'm still going to have $150 to my name. And then I'm going to be embarrassed. So I think that the one good thing about having this whole platform or whatever you want to call is that I have saved my $1,000. I've upped my contributions to $600 a month, $600 a month. It's pretty good.
Well done.
And I'm starting to save some money. So I think I'm proud of that. I'm drinking a lot less Vietnamese coffee, eating out a lot less. I'd say I'm drinking less too, you know. I like at least like less expensive liquors, you know. It's a little less, you know, Woodford Reserve, a little bit more 99 bananas, if you know what I mean.
I don't.
But you know,
that's great to hear.
Yeah, I was waiting for Alex to say something positive.
Proud of you, Chase.
Yeah, because you know that's part of what this whole podcast is about. And I don't know if Nico, you've seen some of the old episodes, but like we've gone through him coming in and like having spent all this money for the weekend, going out too much.
Oh yeah, buying a lot less shirts too.
Yeah, the clothes.
Yeah, so we're figuring it out. We're finding it along the way. You know, I think that it's important to know, like, I'm still young, right? Like,
are you?
Am I? I mean,
do you feel young, Chase? That's what matters the most. How you feel.
Do I feel young? I mean, this firm makes me feel old. I'll just say that. It's like I've done a lot of growing up recently, but also you guys age me up, but also all of your maturity versus my immaturity makes me feel younger. My friends make me feel younger and less mature, but I feel like I have a pretty strong dichotomy in my life. I guess I'll say that.
You said dichotomy, everyone.
Yeah.
Big word.
Yeah, boy. On one of the first songs I ever made, I hit a lyric where I said, she got a I'm out of me.
Got him.
Pretty good, right?
Not the worst.
That was pretty good.
I like this, what you're saying here. Like it, so this podcast being in this office, because like I've met your friends too, and you seem to be the one that has a very different day life than they all have.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to hear you say that.
I was just at home preparing for this podcast. Arlen's just painting away. Just at home, smoking weed, painting, listening to music. And I love that. I wish that was my life. But at the same time, I'm proud to be here working. So it's like, am I aged up, hanging out with the seasoned millennial, but then I go home and I'm a child, or vice versa?
You got to have a healthy balance.
And I like the balance. Feels good.
Life is about balance and options. Shout out to GJ Quick.
Yeah. And my question for you then would be like, what was your life like when you were my age?
Oh, man. When I was your age, I had hair past my shoulders.
Right.
Wearing
Sweet.
sandals every day. When I was your age, I was
You're
still
a
in school.
farmer,
I was actually
right?
still in school when I was your age.
Okay, so what songs like make you think of college? Steely Dan, Beatles.
Let's see. Probably go with some
Jay-Z.
What makes you think of college? You know, I was in college. There's a lot of like Linkin Park was pretty popular. Yeah.
What up? Okay.
Where are they
that's
from?
sick.
I forget.
Chicago.
Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So when I was watching Transformers as a kid, that was like when Transformers 1, those are kind of your times.
I really wasn't watching movies.
Killers? The Killers
when I was in college, I was also working. So I was working, going to school, a lot of extracurricular activities. So I wasn't just bumming around, staying pretty focused.
That's good. And I remember someone told me that you gave, was it the commencement speech or some sort of big thing at your graduation?
Not a big thing, but yeah, I was the School of Public Affairs undergraduate commencement speaker at UCLA.
Sounds like a pretty big deal to me.
Yeah, graduating in 2008. Interesting time to...
okay.
We had a bit of I don't know if you've heard of a financial, what do we call it?
Recession?
The Great Recession.
The Great Recession.
So I graduated UCLA in 2008. It was a pretty interesting job market to find myself in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty challenging. So the recruiters on campus, kind of dried up, and it was a tough time. It was a tough time.
I thought it was bad graduating during a writer's strike, let alone the Great Recession must have been very hard.
It was interesting for sure. Yeah, I mean, a lot of my friends who were looking at 6-figure jobs out of undergrad ended up stocking shelves at Vaughn's for Gallo at 5 a.m.
Damn.
So a lot of lost opportunity, but that's where you learn grit. That's where you learn how to be tough, how to be resilient. Do you walk away or do you walk into?
Yeah,
I say you walk into it.
Oh yeah.
What are we talking about?
When things go bad, you either get fired up and go harder, or you become a little and walk away and curl up in a ball and cry.
No one wants to be in the fetal position.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, do you?
Not me, but I could name a few.
Working as a investment advisor, financial planner helps me now help people. Right? I get to help people now grow their wealth. I get to help people retire with enough money that they can pretty much do whatever they want. That's an incredible and satisfying feeling.
It must be.
Yeah. So one of my goals is to help my clients achieve whatever it is they want to achieve financially. So for you, you're a young man, you're just starting out in the game. So, this isn't about the next 1 or 2 years. It's about the next 2 or 3 decades for you.
Wow. That's what people keep saying.
You planted your seed in finances, and now you'll watch it grow for decades.
You got to get more teeth. The more teeth, the more fun, more action.
Now I just want to be a pirate.
I have a question, Chase. You often, when you're talking about finances and stuff, you're often focused very much on liquid, like what money you have liquid in your bank account. When a lot of times that's not where your majority of your money is going to be, nor should you look at that as a representation of how much money you have.
True.
I just figured that could be a good talking point, why you feel that that's that important to you.
Yeah, well, I guess that I like to know that I have access to my money, right? Like, let's say I want to buy a boat. I want to know I could buy the boat. Is the one hard thing about my investing situation currently is that I keep putting all this money away that I technically can't touch for 4 decades.
Okay, one piece of advice.
Don't buy a boat.
Don't buy a boat. Another bit of advice. Be friends with people that have boats.
It's true. Yeah. And that's the thing is that I'm slowly learning things like that. And that's why I have Big Bro here to tell me that.
And another thing to think about is you can touch that money. It's not gone. Like, you don't want to, but like, through my time since I was your age, starting here till now, when I've been trying to be very aggressive with how much money I put into my accounts. Yeah. Sometimes it ends up being too much and I don't have enough money in my bank account, or liquid, as you would say, when I was getting married or whatnot. And I was able to ask my advisors, hey, I'm a little short. Can you send me back a couple $1,000s? Like, you're able to do that.
There's a lot of flexibility.
Don't you get penalized?
No.
It depends.
Not from your Roth IRA.
Really, Mia? Really? Really, Mia?
So there's a key delineation between liquid investment and retirement investment. Okay. So the most important thing is that they're two separate goals, right? Retirement assets are meant to be grown for you in retirement, right? So you're not going to touch it for the next, I don't know, at least
40 years.
Well, sure.
Don't have to be 65
if you make it that far.
Okay.
Let's get you to 59 and a half, big boy.
Dude, if I make it to 50, my grandpa's turning 90. So listen to this.
Love that.
I'm flying home early for my grandpa's 90th birthday celebration. and he doesn't want to do anything fun. He just wants to stay at home. And I'm like, we need to rent a party bus. We need to go all around Detroit. We need to see where your parents came from Ireland. We need to see the store that you built. We need to go to the old Tiger Stadium in Corktown. We need to go to your old houses. We need to do this big family tour, party bus, bunch of, champagne or whatever. And then he's just like, no, I just want to stay home. And I'm like, dude, you're 90.
Why don't you go to all those places with a video camera, document everything, and then put it together?
It's a really good idea.
And then show it to him.
I'm going to write that down.
Maybe he's got mobility issues. He just wants to relax and be with his family. So he maybe doesn't want to go to all those places, but go to those places and bring it to him.
I actually really like this idea because we were kind of wondering what sort of fun thing we could do. The problem is, dang it, I'm flying in Friday night and the party's Saturday.
Yeah, you don't have much time. Anyway, so when you have your non-retirement assets, your bank account, your brokerage account, things like that, it's liquid. That's the goal, is you can access it. You can use it to buy stuff, right?
Yeah.
But you can also use it to grow, right? You can use it to build more assets. Retirement assets are meant to be used when you're in retirement. So it's a separate mentality, in my opinion, you want to have,
Okay.
So, I'm thinking about putting together someone's financial plan, thinking about their investment assets. I like to think about it like this, okay? When you're making a meal and you have multiple ingredients in operation at once, right? You're not just gonna, make a salad, use all the ingredients to make the salad, done. Now I'm gonna start my appetizer. Now I'm gonna start my entree. No, you kind of gotta do a little bit of everything at once. You're spinning a lot of plates at once. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you're saving for a home down payment, if you're putting some money away for retirement, your 401k, hopefully, right? Putting some money into a Roth if you still qualify, or a backdoor Roth if you're eligible. So there's a lot of different ways you want to be able to grow retirement assets while also putting money in the bank for home down payment.
I'm thinking about a car too.
You want a car? Why do you want a car?
I just feel like a lot of girls say they won't marry me unless I had a car. I mean, would you date someone without a car?
Yes.
If you were like a really hot 23-year-old?
Yes.
Oh, okay. See?
I mean, I think you on
I'm
a
looking
bird.
for love.
I could see you on a scooter.
You see me on a scooter, you'd get the ick. You'd not be able to unsee that.
I don't know. I think it's acceptable. Having a car is, in my opinion, not the most important thing in life.
So this is actually important. So now that we're moving offices and we're going down to Main Street, what's our carpool situation going to be like?
No.
You, me, drive to work every day.
It's high fives.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. We'll see. I'm actually planning on getting an electric bike.
You are?
Yeah.
I was thinking about it too.
Yeah. I think an electric bike makes sense for coming back up the hill.
I drove a Thames electric bike yesterday. It was kind of a blast, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah. I wish it would have been under better circumstances, but...
Were you wearing a helmet?
No.
It's important to wear a helmet, just like it's important to have a trust and a will.
Yeah. And wear... Sorry.
What?
Okay.
What other questions you have for me, Chase? I want to help you.
What's the difference between a stock and a fund? Is a fund just like a mix of stocks?
It can be. So a fund typically, there's lots of different types of funds. So exchange traded fund is what we use often. And it's effectively a basket of investments, right? An investment is typically in our industry like a stock, not exclusively. But so the difference between a stock and an ETF, how about we start with that?
Oh, yeah.
So a stock is ownership in a company, right?
Right.
So it's representation of let's say a company that you like. What's a company that you like?
Costco.
Great. You sure? You like Costco?
Well, I'm kind of pissed at him right now. I feel proud. First of all, let me just say, I do feel proud because initially when I started this podcast, it was like for the bit. So I'd be like at the bar and I'd be like, let's get a round of shots. I'd buy, spend $200 on drinks for me and all my friends. And I'd be like, this is going to be hilarious for the podcast. Ha 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 ha. Spend all my money. And I'd always be like, we wouldn't have a show if I saved my money. Ha 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 ha. But then after about 6 or 7 episodes, I'm like, if it hits episode 10 and I still haven't even saved $1,000, that's actually pretty embarrassing. And so up to my contributions.
But you saved a lot more than $1,000. I mean, you have that much in your bank account, but like you're able to, it sounds like what's happening is you're no longer in a deficit because the money that's getting pulled out automatically each month is not putting you into a negative. It's actually, you're able to save even more money on top of that in the bank.
Yeah.
Surplus, baby.
Surplus.
So, Chase, I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
You know, ever since you joined the firm, I've, seen you like a younger brother. Very proud of you for increasing your ability to learn more about finance and just overall improve your situation. So I'm here to help you however I can.
Here's what I wrote down. Will, where do I want my assets to go? And then I wrote down basic. Then for trust, I wrote actively managed, dynamic, own assets, specific, non-retirement assets. And then in the sender for both of them, I just wrote death. So
that's untrue.
Okay.
So a will is a legal document that gets enforced when
you die.
That's right. When you create a trust, you're still alive and you're owning that trust. You're actually using that trust to do different things, if that makes sense. Okay. So I am the trustee of my trust, of my family trust. I'm still alive.
Family trust. Okay.
Does that make sense? So I'm in charge of my trust. Yeah. So I'm still alive. Now I have a will. That will only really matters when I die, if that makes sense.
It doesn't actually make sense to me because the trust, you're saying that, because actively managed I got, but you're saying that it could go into action even while you're still alive?
I can change the trust. Let's say I want to buy some property. You can change the will too,
right?
Of course, when you're alive. But when you die, you die. And that's when a will, hold on, Mike. A trust, you can keep changing it, right? So basically when you have a trust, you have a will. When you have a will, you don't always have a trust.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's why I wrote down specific. Wait. Okay. But I see how I underlined it.
So a will is just a document that describes who's going to receive what stuff you have upon your death.
Okay.
Right? And then a trust is far more dynamic. Okay. A trust can own property, right? You can have multiple trustees. Right?
Multiple trustees.
You can create, what's really cool about a trust is that you can also say have a generational skipping trust. You can say, oh, you know what? I'm going to make sure that my grandkids have assets or my great grandkids have assets. And you can build into the trust.
So that's called a trust fund, right?
Not exactly.
What's a trust fund?
A trust fund is basically an asset that was created by someone for a beneficiary, and there's parameters around it. How much money they can receive on either an annual or monthly basis. The idea is that there's a pool of assets that can help fund someone's life. Okay. So it's a fund and a trust owns it. A trust manages it effectively.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I know a lot of trust fund kids, and my dad always says, understand you have no trust fund.
But you have trust. That's what matters most.
I know, and he loves me though.
I love your dad. Shout out to Pops.
I love your dad too, by the way. We talked about my dad. I mean, I feel like I've hung out with your dad a few times.
My dad's the best.
He's an awesome guy. And he's a Santa Monica legend too. He's
a Venice Beach guy.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Should we call my dad right now and just check in?
Yes.
Should we?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like you're saying it. I'm like, you know the guy. And honestly, oh, wow.
Go ahead.
I just got a text. Hey, Chase, I have no idea how I missed your text back in July. Would love to give it another shot. That's crazy. All right, let's call my dad.
Do you want to connect the Bluetooth first before you do that?
Connected. Can you hear? What's up, Dad?
Hey, I just landed. Can I call you in about 15?
Yeah.
Uber?
Call me in the Uber.
We'll do one first.
Sounds like somebody's traveling. Let's call my mom. She's more, personality anyways.
Hey.
What's up, sexy?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
As you know, I am live on my podcast right now. Oh, Dad said, thanks for looking after your sister. See, I knew I was the good guy. We don't have to get into this whole TikTok drama with Charity, but we're just talking about trust and will with Nico. Do you remember Nico? Tall, handsome financial advisor, blue eyes.
Hey, Mom, how are you?
Hi.
So we're just talking about having a trust and a will, and I've started to, wonder, do you guys have those things?
Yep, it's all set up, honey.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
We're doing a
If you
podcast
see,
today.
our text, yeah, everything's in trust, and it's actually all in my name, so that if Dad
Really?
ever got sued for his business, they wouldn't be able to touch our money, and that way it's not taxed. It will go to you guys, and it's all set up.
Wow. Is that smart, Nico?
Very smart. And that's the most important thing. We were just talking about the holidays, and it's a really important time to take, inventory of your emotional, your spiritual, and your financial well-being. And, just making sure that, hey, you do have an inventory of things. You do have a will in place, making sure that there is a trust so that you don't have to worry about things. And that's so important.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. We took care of
good.
that.
I'm very proud of Chase, by the way, Ma. He's growing up. This is episode 9.
Yeah.
Progressing.
Episode 9?
Yeah.
That is great.
Did you have any thoughts on the first couple episodes?
Oh, I thought they were fun. I'm sure you're going to hit a new market of people who wouldn't normally, I think, listen to something on finances.
I know. I was talking to my barber today, and she was like, well, I don't want to listen to a finance podcast. And I was like, do you really think it's a finance podcast? What the hell do I know about finance? And then she giggled.
Mom,
right. Well, that's why people who are into that industry would be like, what are you talking about? You're rating food, right? They wouldn't get it. But for just normal people.
You watched my episode with Ziad?
Of course.
She loves me so much.
Mom, what do you think of the new name? Funny. What do you think of the new name for the show, Chasing Finance?
Oh, that's way better.
Way better?
Yeah.
Alex, you hear that?
That's clever.
Yeah, I told you I like it a lot. It's a good name.
Yeah.
And
I
shout
like
out
finding finance, but I think chasing is just more clever.
You just got to announce it so that we can.
Alex thought of it?
No, Rahulio on my kickball team thought of it.
Oh, the kickball team comes through.
Yeah, even though we lost yesterday because Erin, our first baseman, didn't show up. She's such a bad.
What?
Nico's also trying to help me, mature a little bit so I can find a wife.
Well, that's the only thing I don't like about the podcast, because you're just so self-deprecating and act like you're so broke and don't know anything, and I don't know that you're going to attract the right kind of woman.
I support Mom here.
But I also have $5,000 in my bank account now, or savings account.
No, but I'm just saying, you make yourself sound kind of so broke and like a dumb,
okay, well.
I don't know.
That's the same problem that a lot of people here have, is that he makes himself sound worse than the situation actually is.
I feel like I've been doing good on this episode, though. I feel like I've really kind of stepped it up, sound smarter. I honestly feel like I could have asked better questions, but sometimes I don't always know the best questions to ask.
Yeah. I think the earlier episodes you were doing it more, but you also, your situation has changed, so...
I've learned a lot.
Yeah, you've learned a lot.
You're evolving, and that's the goal, right? Is that every episode you're going to get more and more prepared for the next episode, for the next step, for the next chapter. So the wife, it's not your time right now for that. Okay. It's your time for just building and growing, and the right time will be the right time, but it's probably not right now yet. Not yet.
But hopefully that will be what your listeners too. They'll, do you know what I mean? It's entertaining enough to
I want them to grow with me.
Watch it, and they're gonna sit there and grow. I can do this too.
Sure.
I mean, I get why you're making yourself sound like that, but as your mom, of course, I'm a little protective, and probably your friends there at the firm are
yeah.
a little protective.
Well, I appreciate it, Mom. Make sure that you wish Nico.
How you put it all out there. I get it.
Hey, I'm not a faker. That's one thing. Make sure you wish Nico a happy birthday, by the way. It's Jackie Robinson year.
It's your birthday?
Tomorrow's my birthday, the 15th, yeah. So.
Oh, good. That's kind of fun on a Friday, too.
And a full moon.
Yeah, boy. Full moon.
Somehow I think Chase will be able to celebrate you.
Woo, woo. Yeah. I'd already tried, but I got uninvited, apparently.
Are you taking off for the day, Friday?
I am not taking off for the day.
Come on, you're working on your birthday?
I'll work on my birthday. Yeah,
Wow.
I have no problem working. I feel pretty proud working on my birthday. It feels good, but I'm not gonna have a full day. Not a full day. So, yeah, it'd be a nice day.
Good. Or have a long lunch, do something fun, let them celebrate you.
That's beautiful.
Well, we're gonna hang out.
Take care of them, kid.
I will.
Nice to chat with you, and thanks for your input. And I'm really happy that you do have a trust and a will. And today Chase is learning all about the difference between a trust and a will, and why it's important to just not pass away with that one. And we're talking about, and I'll ask you before I let you go, what do Prince, Aretha Franklin, Michael Jackson have in common?
They're all legends.
That's true.
They're not lesbian. What do you mean?
No, they all passed away without an estate plan, without a trust. And so all of their information became public.
I did do that.
They lost half of their assets to probate. Just what a disaster, So just.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. Yeah.
Really, really, really sad.
I never even thought of that. So when you go to probate court, do you have to pay like the lawyers or the judge, like just some of that money get taken away?
There's a cost. Absolutely. And there's also a delay because it's in California.
Yeah.
It's
a long delay, yeah.
Exactly. So typically it's anywhere between 30 and 40% of your estate gets eaten up in costs. Probate court.
Yeah.
It's really challenging.
Damn.
Yeah, you guys are totally protected from all of that. And the other thing that I would remind listeners, because like Dad and I just said this like last week, we're like, we have to update our will because, we kind of do it like kind of every 5 years or something, which doesn't like that sounds like it's fast. Mm-hmm. But we're like 5 years ago, like you and Xavier weren't old enough to take care of Trinity if we died, right?
But now,
I know that's what we're saying. Like, wow, in 5 years, totally.
We could be podcasting from the beach club,
right? I mean, it's like our whole, like, you know what I mean? The age of you, right, where you were 5 years ago versus now. It's like, and Xavier. So, even reminding people, even if like obviously we have all of it taken care of, but like. Kind of every couple of years, you kind of have to revisit.
Absolutely.
And, to remember to stay in your mom's good graces and your dad's good graces because,
That's true. I'm still your favorite, right?
and also to add is, revisit your will and trust every couple of years. And also if you make any significant purchase.
That's true.
You acquire new property, if there's a life change.
Didn't you just get a new Mercedes Benz or something? What's up with that new Benz? Did you add that to the will?
Yeah, I just got it. I mean, it's like different now, right?
Different once you get the foreign.
Own a Naples condo, things change.
I'll see you in Florida in a couple months, Mom.
Come visit.
I will. I'll
Nico's coming down. I'm trying to line it up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to come down at the same time, but I've made it very clear that he's welcome wherever our family is.
Yeah, you'll love it.
All right, awesome. Mom. I love you so much.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
You're my queen and my
Happy
everything.
Birthday, Nico.
Thanks. Bye, Mom.
Bye.
Alex.
So very good advice from Mom there.
Yeah.
What time is it?
It's time to wrap it up.
Ready?
So let's
3,
wrap it up.
2, 1. Happy birthday.
This is going to come out so much after his birthday.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Well, sorry, I'm in the holiday spirit.
All right. Any other questions for me before I let you go?
I guess I'm just curious. Do you have any final tips on, becoming an adult, maintaining sort of lifestyle, whether it's fashion, music, socks during anything that you think is like a big thing that I should know?
Eat more fruit, drink less soda.
More fruit, less soda.
And don't forget to floss.
Okay. Is water pick fine?
I would say 90% of the time, yes, it's a adequate substitute.
Okay.
But I think floss and water pick is ideal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's something I could work on too.
Cocoa Floss is the brand that I use. Awesome brand. Yeah, highly recommend it.
And also, have you had a hop water, by the way?
Love hop water.
Oh my God, dude. I just started drinking hop water. It's changed my life.
I drink hop water. Right now I have blood orange and lime in my fridge at home.
Dude, the lime is so good. And I shouldn't talk about this on the podcast, but a little bit of lime, a little it goes very well.
Yeah, shout out to hop water. They're a local brand.
Are they local?
Yeah, they're LA born and bred.
Is that why it's like all the cool fun people in LA have been drinking it? I didn't even know they were local, but I guess it makes sense. And you know what I also found out is June Shine's not local.
Where are they from?
Like Queens, I want to say.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I don't drink it.
You're not a Juneshine guy?
Nah, I'm not really a, what is it? Spiked kombucha or something like that?
Yeah, booch.
Yeah. You know what good advice is also?
Yeah.
Just be out in nature more.
Yeah, dude.
For everyone. We all need to be in nature more.
That's I feel like the biggest loss after I lost my car is that I just feel like I can't make it out there.
To the beach?
The beach is good. I mean, even though we have a pretty urbanized beach, I just mean like Topanga Mountains or Point Dume,
Yeah, you can figure it out.
It's true.
So
take the bus.
Eat more fruit. Drink less soda.
Less soda, more hot water. Don't forget to floss.
More nature.
More nature.
And keep saving money.
Keep saving money.
Because that means you'll have more of it to enjoy later in life.
I like that. And I think you made a really good point that I'm going to talk to, my financial advisor about is you save money so you can spend it later. That excites me. That's fun.
Exactly.
If you're like, oh, just save your money, put it in the bank, don't touch it. I'm like, you. But when you're like, hey, save that money so you can spend it later, I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Because it makes kind of the mundane bullshit that I don't want to spend that I do spend my money on in the moment. I'm just like, okay, do I really need to spend my money on that? Or would I want to be able to spend it on something better later? That excites me.
So one of the main goals a lot of people save money for is a home down payment.
Mm-hmm.
So how exciting would it be if you spent years saving and you actually put the money down, you get the house, you get the keys.
Yeah.
You finally get to realize the reason why the hell you were saving all that money.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you're saving to buy a car, keep saving.
All right.
And the more you get, the better car you'll have.
All right.
But really, you don't need a great car.
I just want a Model 3. That's it.
Yeah?
Model 3. Used.
You look like a model in that shirt.
Thanks, Nico.
You got it.
Love you, bro.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a blast. Come again soon.
All right. We'll see you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Bye.
But trouble on my mind. That's the attitude that got my ass off the sidelines. You either ride pine and cry about playing time, or you play the game divine.